Talksport pundit doesn't understand why Spurs bought Kudus. Frank's tactics accidentally revealed, and Spurs need to act fast if they want a key target. Here are your daily Tottenham news headlines. Hello, welcome back to the channel. My name's Craig and here are your daily Tottenham news headlines, where I'll be going through all the latest news, rumours and reports. If you're watching on YouTube and are not already a subscriber to the channel, please consider doing so. Like, share and comment below. And if you're listening on an audio platform, please do hit that follow button and leave a review if you can. And if you have a spare minute, please vote for the channel at the Football Content Awards 2025. All of the details are below. Let's get into it. Former Arsenal player Perry Groves has been speaking to Talksport and believes that Tottenham signing Mohamed Kudus is a strange addition for Thomas Frank's team. The Talksport pundit has questioned the forward's attitude and his work ethic out of possession, something that the Dane won't stand for. He also believes that West Ham United supporters won't be too upset to see him leave after he had a rather underwhelming campaign at the London Stadium. Groves told Talksport Kudus has gone there, which I think is a bit of a strange signing, because not last season, the season before, he had a good season. If you ask West Ham fans, they won't be crying their eyes out. I saw him a few times again and his attitude wasn't great under Julian Lopetegui, and when Graham Potter went in there, he played him out of position a few times as a false nine. But again, his reaction when he's going 1v1, not using the ball, his reaction wasn't great. Now, Thomas Frank won't stand for that whatsoever, but going forward, he can be exciting. The jury is still out. Frank could work his magic and have his work cut out with Kudus at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. The 51-year-old has already helped improve other players like Ivan Toney, Ollie Watkins and Bryan Mbeumo during his time at Brentford. Football.London report that a possible Thomas Frank tactic may have accidentally been revealed during an innocent post by a player on social media. Eagle-eyed fans have spotted in the background of a Snapchat video from Udogie proof that Spurs will be utilising long throws. The Italian left-back uploaded a video on Monday from within the Tottenham Hotspur dressing room at Hotspur Way, showing Yves Bissouma, Sarr and Pedro Porro all dancing to music. During their dancing, on a screen on the back wall of the room, a timetable for the day flashed up. It showed things like a meeting before medicals, individual prep and then training before lunch. On the other half of the screen, it displayed what training would entail that day, including possession work, but also at the bottom of the list were the words long throw auditions. All eyes will now be on who won that audition and who will be found hurling long throws into the opposition box. Saturday's first pre-season friendly under Frank at Reading could give us an early indication of who came out on top. The Times are reporting that the Premier League has not given a timeline for when the Morgan Gibbs-White case will be concluded, but Thomas Frank will hope that he can have the player in the squad for the club's pre-season tour. Gibbs-White is understood to be ready to embark on a fresh challenge at Tottenham. Sports Mole report that Tottenham Hotspur's interest in Brentford forward Yoane Wissa has been described as unlikely to materialise due to Manchester United's interest in B's teammate Bryan Mbeumo. Thomas Frank's rebuild at Spurs is underway and the Danish boss appears to be keen on an offensive revolution with Mohamed Kudus, his first major forward signing. The club could also be set to add Nottingham Forest attacker Morgan Gibbs-White, though the transfer could become a prolonged saga after Forest threatened to complain to the Premier League. Tottenham have been reported to hold interest in more offensive additions, with Frank's former player Wissa linked with the reunion. However, Football Insider have claimed that because Manchester United are keen on signing Mbeumo, Brentford have no intention of selling Wissa in the same transfer window. Give Me Sport state that Tottenham may not be put off by the signing of Adam Wharton in the region of £100 million, and he has remained on their shortlist of potential acquisitions as they continue eyeing ambitious deals in the aftermath of ending their silverware drought by getting their hands on the Europa League trophy in May. The one cap in England international is firmly in Spurs' sights, having been described as outstanding by record Premier League goalscorer Alan Shearer, and he would be tasked with providing the likes of Rodrigo Bentancur, Pat Matassar with fresh competition for a regular starting berth if he is given the green light to embark on a fresh challenge. GMS sources have been informed that Tottenham's desire to make further eye-catching alterations to their squad means they may not be deterred for long in the pursuit of Wharton, who enjoyed FA Cup glory during the 2024-25 campaign impacted by injury, even though Crystal Palace have increased their valuation. Tottenham are aware that Crystal Palace's lofty demands are threatening to result in Wharton being out of their reach for now, but GMS sources understand that Frank is keeping him in his sights, even though he would have to make him the most expensive signing in the North Londoners' history. Okay, well, here's my thoughts on all those stories today. Firstly, the Perry Groves one, talking with TalkSport about Kudus. That's an interesting one. Some players, in my opinion, some forward players aren't the best and aren't naturally good at tracking back. Obviously, most managers nowadays, especially under the likes of Thomas Frank, they're going to be expected to track back and do their fair share of defensive work. So if that is lacking in his game, it would soon come to pass and be seen that that's where he needs improvements. And Thomas Frank, he is right in that regard, probably wouldn't stand for that and would be looking to him to improve. But you know what it's like when players join clubs, they want to prove to the manager they should be in the starting lineup week after week, game after game. So you would think that Kudus will be putting in the hard yards and doing all the work. So I'm not that bothered about this. I think that Kudus will be working hard to impress the manager and the training team around him. So I'm not that bothered about that. I think Kudus will be fine, to be honest with you. Spurs tactics revealed as regards the long throw. Really interesting. We haven't really had a long throw expert at the club, so to speak, have we? I remember Stefan Freund back in the day. It was more like a short long throw, I always used to call it. But we've never really had one of these. I'm not against it, to be honest. I used to love watching Rory Delap when he was at Stoke throw a long ball into the box. It just adds something different, and it can be a really, really good weapon to have, that long throw. And it's just something different, as long as you're not doing it all the time. I think it's a good thing. And if we have got a long throw merchant, if you like, in the club, I'm all for it, to be honest, because, well, you need people in the box that can head the ball, obviously, but, you know, Solanke good in the air. So for one, so I think this is good. I think it's a change. It's something different that we can use as an offensive way to try and score goals. Obviously, set piece coaches under Conte, wasn't it? We had a dedicated set piece coach. We didn't really have one under Postecoglou, but now it looks like we have got one under Thomas Frank. So that'll be really interesting to see who wins that battle for the long throws. No timeline on the Morgan Gibbs-White case, as we know. The Premier League looking into that. I still think this deal gets done, and eventually he will be a Spurs player, hopefully within the next week or so. So let's see how that goes. But I'm pretty sure that this deal gets done. So let's try not to worry about that. Yoane Wissa, again, there's rumours Spurs still looking at him. I agree with this, you know. Why would Brentford let Brian Bremo and Wissa go in the same window? That takes so many goals out of their team. So what I'm getting at, if we want Wissa, we need to go for him now before Manchester United get Mbeumo over the line. Is he a priority, or would they move on to other targets? Me personally, it looks like Manchester United are edging closer to Mbeumo. So I don't know how long this deal would take to do. I don't know how far advanced it is. But if they want Wissa, they need to go and get him. But my feeling, just a gut feeling, is that we'll probably not be going for Wissa. But that's just my opinion. And finally, Adam Wharton, 100 million. Wow, that's a lot of money to spend on the player so young and with such little experience in the Premier League. Obviously part of the England setup now. A really good player, don't get me wrong, and would slot in and would walk into Spurs midfield. But £100 million, as much as Tottenham aren't put off by that, which is great to hear, by the way, that we don't mind spending the money. I just can't see this one happening at 100 million. I don't know what that fee would be, perhaps 40, 50. Spurs might go in it, I'm just guessing. Adam Wharton, really good player, obviously one that Thomas Frank wants. But regardless, as I said in all these videos, as long as we're giving the manager the players he wants, I don't care who it is. I just want to see the players come through the door that's going to support this manager, because we need reinforcements this transfer window. Anyway, that's it from me today. Get down in the comments, let me know how you're feeling right now as a Spurs fan, and on all those stories today. Come on, you Spurs.